Nobody Cares, and The Weird Wink. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Greater narcissists and the ultra essentially draw fuel from the fact of being. This is where your decision makers are, your movers and shakers. Famous people, captains of industry, individuals that make things happen. Their sheer presence causes people to take notice. And therefore these individuals have extensive fuel matrices where they don't have to engage in the creation of unnecessary drama on a day-to-day basis. They don't have to engage in the blatant look at me behaviour. The fact of who they are demands attention and respect. Where they go causes heads to turn. They're recognised, and people are engaged, and thus it's easy enough for them to draw fuel from all of those tertiary sources by way of created reputation, established status. Thus, those groupings don't need to engage in the more petty behaviours that lesser and mid-range narcissists do in order to provoke responses to receive that all-important fuel. Harry's wife is famous, or you might prefer, infamous, and as a consequence of simply the fact that she married a prince with Fanta pubes, she became known the world over. But notwithstanding that, the fact is that most people regard her as a nobody, an individual that clawed her way into this position, who is a talent-free zone and is not particularly interesting. Yes, there are people who are polite when they meet her because that's what the general convention of society requires. There are a few people who get all excited when they meet her because they perhaps live vicariously through her and that they are a fan of her. Those individuals are dwindling in number, and there are plenty more people who are just disinterested and those that dislike her. We're going to look at a short piece of footage which provides us with two things to examine. Let's bring forth the footage for you to see, and then I'll analyse it for you. You'll see that the footage has been taken from a perspective of somebody else that recognises that people around her don't care, so you're going to get some arrows and wording across the screen. But try not to let that detract you and distract you from what's actually going on in respect of the individual shown in this footage, and see if you can spot the weird wink. Here comes the footage. The footage comes from a little while ago when Harry's wife was courting Gloria Steinem for the purposes of managing her facade and acquiring character traits from Ms. Steinem. They've been for lunch, and Harry's wife has made it known that she was lunching there so that she can be photographed and filmed. She's shown exiting the building, and the footage demonstrates that there are a number of people nearby and around that see events unfolding, but none of them give her a second glance. Now, it's possible that they don't recognise who she is, but in all likelihood they probably do, because she's been plastered across the globe for a number of years. And yet, all of the people around, you can see, as pointed out by the arrows and the commentary, don't give her a second glance, don't stop what they're doing to observe her, don't even go over and say hello or ask for an autograph or a selfie with her. They are utterly uninterested in what she is doing. That, of course, is problematic for a narcissist. However, Harry's wife is so focused on Gloria Steinem that she doesn't notice that other people fail to notice her. She would, of course, prefer that members of the public would come up and recognise her and ask for a selfie and want to talk to her, because that would provide her with fuel. But it shows that those people around her just aren't interested in her. Fortunately for her, she doesn't notice, because the focus that she has is of ensuring that the world sees her with Gloria Steinem, that she is photographed exiting the restaurant, that she's photographed as she provides her with a hug. That is what matters, and her narcissism is compelling her to assert control over Gloria Steinem as a non-intimate secondary source and ensure the world recognises that here she is, holding hands with her as she exits the restaurant, guiding her towards the vehicle, that she is giving her a hug and saying goodbye, and the world sees that she's with this feminist icon and that she, Harry's wife, is a nice, kind person looking after this older lady. But as I've explained to you in immediate parts passim, she doesn't do this because she genuinely cares. She does this because it satisfies the prime aims. She must control Gloria Steinem, so she does, guiding her by the hand. She must control those who are immediately around her, and she wishes to control those that may well see the pictures and footage. And therefore her narcissism compels her to put on the facade of caring about Gloria Steinem, causing her to behave in a particular way. And thus she wants the world to see, here I am with Gloria Steinem, treating her politely, being nice to her. And then you see the wink. Just as she comes in for the hug on Gloria Steinem, she sees the camera and gives a wink. Why? Because her narcissism once again glitches and allows that smug, self-satisfied behaviour to come to the fore. Namely, gotcha. The whole point of the exit was not about helping Gloria Steinem. It was about being seen helping Gloria Steinem, being filmed and photographed. And as always, as you know, she's very apt at finding the lens. She sees that she's being photographed, hugging Gloria Steinem, looks straight at the camera and winks as if to say, it's in the bag, back of the net. This just demonstrates that it's again all about what she requires and isn't about Gloria Steinem. Nobody cares about her, and she gives a weird wink because her narcissism glitches once again, showing us what truly matters to her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.